This is Dan Tortora here with Noreen Morris, the commissioner of the NEC, here for the 75th anniversary of LeMoyne men's basketball. Noreen, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dan. Thanks.
So you got to see this game with two teams that are new to the NEC. Stonehill a year in their second year right now, LeMoyne within their first year. Just what you could say about what both of these institutions have brought to the NEC portfolio.
Yeah, they've done a great job in the transition to the NEC. Obviously, LeMoyne men's basketball has had a great run so far this season in their first year. Stonehill had that same run last year, right? So it's that first year in, you got a lot of age and maturity on the roster. Stonehill's a bit younger this year, but I think both teams have done a great job, and really both programs across the board have done a great job in that transition and staying positive and just really building for the future. That's what these 4 years are about, is really building for the future and just transitioning from the D2 to D1, the roster changes, and then just trying to get the right people in the right places.
When you see the success that Stonehill had last year, I believe ending third for men's basketball in the conference. We know that Merrimack won the conference but was unable to go because of the 4-year reclassification period. LeMoyne now in the top 3 for men's basketball. The women's team is in the top 2. So is there a hope, just looking at the NEC itself, that maybe that 4 years could be shortened?
You know, the NCAA is looking at it. I chaired the committee that was managing that issue for the last 4 years, but I've rolled off the committee, but I do know from talking with folks and reading through their minutes that they're looking at, are there some potential ways to reduce that number from 4 to potentially 3? It's a difficult proposition, knowing the transition from D2 to D1. There's so many changes and there's so many expectations, in particular around eligibility and compliance and financial aid. So it's hitting that right sweet spot of making sure those schools are ready, right, and that can make that jump and finish the transition, and just not going too quickly. So I do think that they might come out with some potential changes come the end of this year, or at least legislation that we'll vote on. But you know, it's ongoing, and the people are heard, right? They just know that this is an issue that folks want us to look at.
What made you want to come onto campus at LeMoyne here this weekend?
Yeah, I want to come back, and I was here obviously for the announcement last spring, and it's really important for me to come back and just see how things are going, catch up with folks, you know, have a chance to talk with the president, athletic director, some of the board of trustees members. And it was great that I picked this game. I didn't realize that this was the 75th anniversary of their basketball, and to see everyone come back and to celebrate and to see the individual game scoring record. They presented that game ball, and the gentleman who'd had the record from years and years ago were there. So that was just really, really nice to be here and be a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, that monumental record that was held for 70 years, then tied in the early 70s and 71, and then broken this year. For you to be here to see all of that, and not something you see every day,
no,
of course,
no.
To see all history, the top 3 leading scorers for men's basketball all on the court together. What did you think of the atmosphere at the basketball game?
It was a great atmosphere, and it was a TV game, so it's really great to see that the fans came in. They had a great band, and just the fans were there in their seats, and, you know, obviously the game was close to the end, so it's great for TV to keep everyone in their seats to the end. But really good atmosphere here, and I think the LeMoyne Dolphin fans are in it to win it, and they really came in and supported their team today.
Final note, we're less than a full year in for LeMoyne, but we've seen the women's soccer team have successes, almost made it to the postseason. The men's soccer team did make it to the postseason. An NEC victory, first NEC victory for any team was women's tennis. And then to see women's lacrosse return to Division I and have a win over Cal at home. Men's and women's basketball clinched playoff berths on the same day, just a couple days ago. So just your thoughts on the early success of Division I with LeMoyne.
You know, I'm not surprised. I think with the leadership you have in Bob Beretta, you know, he knows what D1 is all about. And I think over the last couple of years, you've made some really good changes from a coaching perspective. And I think though coaches have done a great job of recruiting and setting the expectations. And I think the student athletes are just stepping up and really filling in those expectations. So I think it's great. I mean, I think it's really exciting. The women's lacrosse team was here throwing out the NEC shirts, the promo T-shirts, and it's fantastic that they got that win over Cal. I mean, that's a huge win for them, and I think that really will help them and as they get into their season and go into their first season or again as D1. So I think it's been wonderful. I think LeMoyne has done everything they can to set up their student athletes for success, and there'll be ebbs and flows, but I think that everyone's kind of moving in the right direction.
Well, thank you as always, Noreen. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.